Hi, and welcome to the highlights for World 2-1, the Mines of the Stonefang Tunnels. Couple things to go over in this video. First of all, sorry, I want to go over the Fat Officials. Also, for this run, I still have the straight sword and the crossbow from 1-1. Haven't really picked up anything new. So, one thing to know about the Fat Officials, if you're actually just playing through on your own, they may not get staggered on a single hit, and you can easily fast roll or even kind of slow roll out of the way of their fireballs. A good chance to hit them is right there, where they laugh, but don't get too greedy like I did, where I did 2 hits, because they have that ignite that can hit you pretty easily and can come out pretty fast. Another thing I want to go over, and I talked about this being a problem point, but the dogs. Always have something ranged on you by this point, so you can break open those pots from far away. Getting up close puts you at risk of being swarmed by lizard men, because it's kind of random when the dogs come out. They will break open those pots themselves, but I've never really been able to get it to happen reliably, so I've gotten in the habit of just breaking it myself. Another thing that I want to talk about, and this is a big general Dark Souls thing. Sorry, Demon Souls. Oh, Dark Souls 2. Take your pick. Know your weapons' movesets and just how they work. You'll notice a good thing if you start as a knight class as I did. Your longsword has a thrusting attack as its R2. That's very good for Stonefang tunnels. But if you hit R2 again, you do a slashing follow-up, which is not good. It doesn't do piercing damage. So what I learned playing through 2-1 is if after I do my R2, hold a direction and move, and as soon as my character starts moving, I can attack with an R2 again and have it be the thrust. As you'll see right here. Well, I guess not right there. But as you'll see right here. So I moved, did another thrust. It's really important to learn this. I did a run, katanas only, and I learned that my R2 can actually have another quick follow-up if I hit the R2 again and it's the same attack. Many R2s react differently. Some have follow-up attacks. Some will do the same attack again but faster, giving you no recovery time. You saw right there again. As soon as I moved, I did the R2 again. It's very, very important to learn the movesets of the weapons you decide to use. It will make and break a lot of fights. Just a really good point to remember. So another problem area is this one right here. You can ignore the first area with lizards, but this one you are forced to go through. I like to pick the lizards off with a ranged weapon to at least get them started. As soon as that first one falls off and you swing your weapon, they will all start coming after you. Well, most of them. Now, again, a good thing to know about your movesets. I've never fought these guys with a straight sword type weapon, so I didn't know that the R2 doesn't actually hit them if you're on level ground. But if you will watch in a moment, see, I just completely whiffed right there. Because I'm on lower ground than them, I can hit them with the R2. It's a good thing to know about elevation and things like that. However, I do know that my two-handed attack is an overhead swing, which will hit enemies on the ground. So I generally follow up with that. See? Pays to know your movesets. This last one, I just decide I got one hit off. Oh wait, this is the second last one. This was the one. I just said, you know what? No. I'm gonna heal myself up and just use this crossbow. Crossbows really aren't that great in the original Demon Souls, and that's because they're unupgradable, unlike bows, which you can upgrade. Now, the last big problem area, in my opinion, is the trap Fat Official. This is really just like, how would you know this? Well, actually, you see the explosive barrels. You should approach this cautiously, because you learned about explosive barrels in 2-1, but just lure out his fire attack so he blows up the first sets of fire barrels. As soon as he blows up this one, all the barrels on the right side are actually exploded, close to him, the ones close to him. So, as soon as he does an attack, you can just run right in, run over to the right side. He cannot hit you over here. Now, I am being extra cautious in destroying these barrels too. But, once you're over here, he can't hit you. Lure out his attacks, and then go in for a hit. And just be very methodical. Of course, I'm getting fed up at this point, because it's just, I've been in here for a while, and I just want it done, so I go all in, and I take an ignite to the face, and you see how much damage that does. Now, the final point is the boss. I mentioned in the main video, I've really never done melee on the Armored Spider. My first time through, I actually used the bow on him. I did a different level before this, and I picked up a bow. And I kind of immediately fell in love with bows. Bows are really great. The range is really great in Demon Souls. So this is my first time actually attempting melee. I was going to try and show off crossbows and ranged attacks, but crossbows have a very long refill time, so... Oh, and here you see why I say stay in the middle when he does that. That will go right through your guard. Crossbows have a very long reload time, and it doesn't really make them viable. Also note that if you walk through his webs, you get webbed. So, don't walk through his webs. I'm also showing off here a more agile way of fighting him. I have the high quit burden ring. I forget which one that is. Because Herculean Strength I think is item burden. I can't remember what the equip burden one is called. But I have the equip burden ring on, so I actually have fast rolls even though I'm wearing heavy armor. Here I move forward, not realizing how far that goes. Now you see why I was so Tauto, get back in the main video, because I know how far that goes. So a big thing to note is if you do get hit by the thread, don't just go whelp and resign yourself to your fate. Block the oncoming fireball. You will take a lot less damage and it still burns away the thread, as I learned right here. And I'm still trying to use the crossbow. Not a good idea. So let's talk more about the melee strategy of fighting this guy. You want to get in close, dodging his attacks. His slashing with his forearms attack doesn't really actually do that much stamina damage. So if you block that and then lower your shield to recover your stamina faster, you will actually be fine. And another thing to note, all of his webbing webs you. So even that webbing on the side will web you up. Don't walk into the webbing on the side. See right here, I quickly recover my stamina. Back up, recover, go in for a hit. I realize that, hey, he actually takes more piercing damage than he does slashing. I should use piercing damage more. So I always go with my R2. You really quickly have to adapt to your situations in Demon Souls. Now here, I remember, I can, no lock-on aim with the crossbow and probably hit him. And again, so if you happen to have a crossbow, you can stand back there and kind of no aim, look up at the ceiling a little bit, and hit him with your crossbow. The way that you no aim is you want to position on the center of the screen where you want the crossbow bolt to go. It takes a little getting used to, but after you do it a couple of times, you get the hang of it. Also note, I also made this mistake in the main video, and I'll make it here eventually. When he's going to do his fire attack, his forearms actually don't come down. You have a lot of time to run away from it. So as long as you see those forearms come down, there's no need to run. See here I run, thinking it's the fire attack, but it's not. And every time I run away from that, thinking it's the fire attack, he usually follows up with the fire attack. It's kind of funny actually. but we've more or less seen the majority of the fight. It's just going to be this for another 10 minutes. So, after I get hit in the face with the fireball, I'm actually going to cut ahead in a little bit. Or maybe I do another slow approach. Ah, here we go. So here's my final approach to him. I've got him down pretty low. Just plinking away when he's doing the big fire breath attack. Hitting him with R2s when I get up close. You can try and go in with an R2 after he does his swipe, but it's much better to go in after he does a slam. And with that, Armor Spider's dead. You've seen a pretty good approach to, hey, this is my first time trying to do this. You really have to analyze your situation, take in what facts you can get, be a little defensive at first. It's not, you don't really have to be gung-ho. Only go gung-ho in the fights once you actually have all the information. The biggest thing that you can be in Demon Souls to help yourself out is cautious. I can't go over this enough times. But that's it for this highlight video. And just to show you, this is all the ore I picked up. I think I was looking for something specific, trying to make sure I picked up everything. But just, like, look at all that hardstone. That's some good shield upgrades right there. So that's it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.